back home in Massachusetts after a very exciting weekend in Las Vegas at the Olympia weekend. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications up there, that bell thing, so you know when we're putting out great content. We've got some great content on this channel over the past few days. And of course, like, share. I already said subscribe. Comment below. We got the live chat going, which I'm going to get to you momentarily, because I predicted this Olympia was going to be so jam-packed with talent, so many incredible athletes, and there were, that there was going to be an epic amount of butthurt following that, because there was going to be an abundance of men and women in this show competing over the weekend that looked fantastic, but would get second call out, third call out, fourth call out, fifth call out. Big, some divisions like men's physique, classic physique, bikini, they were so loaded, so many competitors that everyone's like, why didn't this X person, X fill in the blank, why didn't they place better? Why didn't they get a better look? You put that many incredible people in one show, on one stage together, some are going to get good placings and some are going to get bad placings, because everybody earned their right to be there and everybody looked awesome. So I'm going to waste no more time. I'm going to get right to your, how do I get live? Right there. Right to your questions and comments, because I'm sure you guys got a lot to say. I mean, I would hope so. This was our big show. This is our Super Bowl. You speak to any judges about, no, I didn't speak to any judges about Ramy. I mean, I know why Ramy, anybody who's been around knows why Ramy was placed as poorly as he was. His lower lats are gone. He couldn't open up his back in the rear double bicep with the rear lat spread all the way. Triceps looked flat. One arm is much bigger than his physique. It's had a lot of issues. Not his best. He looked, even though his glutes were in, he was soft in other areas. Like his midsection was really soft and mushy looking. This was far from the best Ramy. He looked much better last year, even the year before. Yeah, we've seen Ramy so much better so many times before. And I knew they had him on the right and they never moved him in the center. And some people were saying, well, that just means he was so good they didn't need to compare him. Well, if you've been to any pro shows or Olympias, any pro show, you know that they always put the eventual winner in the middle at some point in the judging. Ramy was never in the middle, not once. So here we go. Let's see. Judges screwed up big time after the top three? I don't think so. You know my flavor. I swear someone should hold Steve Weinberg accountable. Yeah, I don't know what you're upset about. You can elaborate below. Oh, I guess you did. Hang on. Was Ramy worse or better than last year in the flesh? Worse. He was much worse. I love Ramy. He's the nicest guy. And if he looked great, I would say he looked great. He didn't look great. He looked awful. I'm sorry. This is not personal. I love the guy. I think he's a sweet human being, humble, gentle giant, cool guy. I love Ramy, but no. Does Hunter look better in person than photos? Well, I haven't really looked at the photos. He looked pretty good to me. He looked better to me than last year, but this was a different show. It was a tougher show. Jerry, I worked the whole weekend. I missed it, but still blessed competitors. You know my flavor. Why did Brandon play so highly? He didn't have a cut in sight, had no legs. Samson and Andrew have undoubtedly better physiques than him, and were probably in better condition. Andrew was not in better condition. Andrew's condition was not great at all. But I agree with you. In our wrap-up, which we did right after the show with Jose Raymond, myself, Giles Thomas, and then Milos jumped in. And Milos said, we've never seen Brandon ripped ever. But he was bigger, but I don't know if he was even as lean as he was when he won the Arnold earlier in the year. Yeah, his condition was lacking. I could have seen that. He's got beautiful shape and structure. Beautiful. So round and bubbly. Legs, they're not horrible. They could be better. It's that condition. He just was not hard enough. Let's see. Renaud, Jack, Crezo, and Samson deserve to place ahead of Walker? No. I mean, you can make an argument with Samson because he's got such a pretty shape to him, but no, Walker's just loaded with muscle. Certain poses, I don't like the shape much, but, overall, he's a freak. He's huge. He came in great condition. Joseph, do you think Ramy with his injuries, he can ever come back? I can't say for sure because I don't know exactly what the injuries are. If I knew exactly what the injuries are and what the likelihood of resolving those issues and injuries, then I could give you a more qualified answer to that. But I don't know exactly what's wrong. If it's spinal injury, if it's nerve damage, if it's things like that, he's going to have a tough road. I mean, Ronnie Coleman, similar thing happened to Ronnie, 15 years ago, where Ronnie basically got beat by himself because his body just gave out. He had nerve injuries and one side started atrophying, and it was all downhill from there. I mean, had those things not happened to Ronnie, he probably would have won a couple more Olympias. Let's see. You guys got a lot to say, and that's good. That's what we're here for. Krizo, can Hadi win again? Yeah, Mohammed El Hadi Suta. Yeah, I think Hadi can win again. Why not? I mean, the guy was fucking dense, stacked with muscle, striated, dry. That back, oh, geez, the legs. Hadi looked phenomenal. Hats off to Hadi Chupan. You know my flavor. Also, how the hell did Hunter beat Andrew and Bonac? And how the hell did Ian beat Krizo? Yeah, I don't really. Once we get like past top 5, I'm not that concerned. I know. These are your guys, and you want them to do better. But man, you could argue these things all day. So I don't want to get into why so and so beat so and so. We'll be here all damn day. I know. I don't want to. I'm not trying to brush you off. I'm really not. But there's probably more stuff to get to. What's up? Great interviews at the Olympia. Thank you. You know my flow. White Crane. Thank you about analyzing the deal with Big Ramy. I was thinking the same things. Jump Tube. Ramy was much worse than 20. A little worse than last year, but I'm not a fan of his physique. I've never been a fan of his physique. Really, it's not my cup of tea. But I had no problem with him winning these last 2 years. I thought he was the best man on the stage. This year, he was not. He was not the best man on the stage, and there were a few men who were better, and judges did the right thing. Years ago, I've been to Olympias in the past where Mr. Olympia was way off, and they still let him win. The judging, as much as people like to talk shit about the judges and this and that, this was some really good judging, I thought, overall. Judges had a hell of a time this weekend, guys. Deal Big Ramy, Jay Swole in your hole. I feel Nick out-muscled both Hadi and Derek. He also had better condition. His shape is not bodybuilding, it's genetics, so we'll never be on board with that part of bodybuilding. Yeah, I mean, genetics they're like everything in this sport, man. I mean, Nick just does not have a real pleasing shape in some poses, and, you know, 3rd place is great. He moved up 2 spots from last year in a much tougher show, a much tougher lineup than last year. That's a win. I know you guys want him to win. I know he wanted to win. I thought Nick looked great, and I can't say he should be happy. He wanted to win, so he's not happy. But, you know, he should be very proud of himself. And you guys who are Nick Walker fans, you should be proud of him. He did a hell of a job. This was a tough Olympia. To place 3rd, and, you know, Derek and Hadi, they were freaking fantastic. I know Nick looks great too. Jason Samson. Another Samson. Hey, Ron. Ian seemed unable to pose or move fluidly during the show. Any idea what the issue may have been? I don't, but I bet he's put out a video or an Instagram or something explaining. I don't know what happened. Renaud, would Bumstead and Clarita place ahead of Walker in the open? I think so. I think no way, no. I think Bumstead would have been way too small. He would not have made top 15. I love Bumstead. Maybe we'll get to Bumstead later because I love that kid's physique. I love it. I think he's fantastic, and I think Clarita would have been probably somewhere around 8, 9, 10, you know, somewhere around there. He would not have beaten Nick. No, Nick deserved 3rd place. He was legit. And Joseph, don't think Ramy. Joseph, don't think Ramy should just retire. His injuries seem to get worse every year. So you think he should retire? I mean, he's already said he's coming back, and you know what? I've seen people come back, and from people that I thought were all done and washed up. You know, when Cutler came back in 2009, nobody was expecting him to do well. People were thinking he was on the way out, and he pulled it off. He had a couple more great years in him. And, but you know, there comes a point where every bodybuilder eventually, that's it. Their body's just not going to cooperate anymore. And I don't know if that's the point Ramy's at or not. You know what? He's got the heart of a warrior, and if he has really good medical attention, tilt this a little. If he has really good, you know, physical therapists, chiropractors, maybe he needs some surgeries. I don't know what the issues are. If he can resolve those and has time to have another plan, you know, prepare for next year's show, which is going to be a little earlier. It's going to be first weekend in November next year in Orlando, if you didn't know that. Yes, Olympia is going to be back in Orlando, Florida next year, and it's going to be first week in November. They already announced that during the what do you call it? The seminar, the victory seminar they do Sunday morning. Let's see. MK, what about the lower lats? His injury looks like the same that happened to Dennis Wolf. No, Dennis had high lats. Dennis never had an injury to his lats. They just inserted high. Just like there's some people, like a good example, and I'm not putting him on blast. Akeem Williams has very high lats they insert high. That's why they're up here and then there's this big gap because there's no more lat. That's where they insert, that far away from the spine. Rami had low, his lats did come down lower. There's some atrophying in the lower lats. It's not just the insertions. The lats are there, but they're smaller in the bottom, and I don't know why. I'm not going to pretend to know why. I'm not, he would need to be medically examined and MRIs, and he needs a full workup. Mark, do you think it's the greatest Mr. Olympia of all time after all? I don't think it holds a candle to 1999, considering how many considerers came out of shape. There were a few great Olympias. 99, I think 2002 was a great one. There's been a lot of great Olympias. They're all great in their own ways. And it's different lineups, different eras. But it was a great Olympia. It was up there with any of the ones I've ever been to. And I've only missed a couple since 1991. So I've been to at least 25 Olympias. And this was up there with the best top 3, 4 of them. I mean, it's the best show in the world. So there's several years where it was just phenomenal. I mean, I remember years where like the top 10 had like Ronnie, Dorian, Cormier, Flex Wheeler, Kevin Levrone, Nasser El Somebody, Lee Priest, Vince Taylor. I mean, some fantastic lineups back in those days. Any view on Andrew in this Olympia? I think Andrew had gotten sick a couple weeks prior. So I don't know if he had been leaner and we just never got to see it, but the condition was still not any better to my eyes than when he won. I was in Texas and then he did Arnold UK and won that. His glutes and hamstrings were pretty soft and they were still soft. I didn't see any improvement in the condition in those areas. So if he works on that, he's got some work to do, but Andrew Jacked has phenomenal potential. I still think another year or two, he's going to be pushing for the title. This time he was not in contention for the title, but where did he end up? He was 8th. I mean, it's not bad, man. 8th in the world, your first Olympia. For a guy who started the year off as an amateur, he turned pro back in March. In December, he's 8th best physique on the planet with 8 billion human beings on it. Wow. White Crane. So because we were all so focused on Rami, we forgot about how bad Brandon Curry placed. What the heck happened with him? It was just condition. He just was not in his best shape. I mean, he's never been in really crisp, dry shape ever. But this, to me, he looked bigger. He was definitely bigger, but he was not better. He wasn't, to me, I think he looked a little softer than even he was at the Arnold that he won back in March. Maybe about the same condition, but that condition wasn't great. And this was, Hadi was freaking shredded out of his skull. Derek was in great shape. Nick Walker was in great shape. So for him to place just behind those three, still damn good, considering he wasn't anywhere near their level of condition, not even close. Lucas Camelo, can Rafael Brandao enter the top 5 in 2023 with more size? Why not? I mean, he ended up 10th, but condition was really good. His shape is beautiful. It's like a bigger classic physique body. Rafael looked sensational. I was very impressed with Rafael. He just needs more size, a little more size, a few more pounds, just a fuller look with that shape, and he's right there. Alok Jha, Ian seems to have nerve damage also in lower back. Yeah, I mean, his back, he was someone else who had visibly lacking back development in the lower region compared to what we've seen, because Ian's back is great, but something was up, and I don't know what. I don't know. I don't like to. You don't think Derek was too soft, says JumpTube. No, you know what? He was in great condition. The thing with Derek is he still needs some more muscle maturity. Like this whole area, there's not a lot of detail, even when he hits his most muscular, whereas when Hadi hits it, there's a million splinters and splits, striations. There's so much detail. So it's not soft. It's just, I think he just needs more time and more muscle maturity. He's 29 years old. I know he's not that mature. Hadi's what, 30, 35, 36? But, Derek just needs more of that, more detail up here. But condition, he was on point. You don't think Derek's too soft? Sean Ferguson, do you think Hunter needs a more experienced coach, Ben Chow? No, I think Ben did a great job because Hunter did look much better than he did last year. He was bigger and the condition was better. Back was still not like phenomenal, but it was better. Hunter, had this been last year, well, it's not last year. Had he looked like that last year, he might have moved up a spot for sure. No, I think Ben's doing a good job with him. I do believe Hani Rambod now with 22 Mr. Olympia titles that he's helped people win, men and women. I consider him the best coach in the game, bar none. Hands down, Hani Rambod. How can you argue with 22 Olympia titles? He had the Mr. Olympia winner this weekend. He had the Mr. Olympia runner-up, and he had the Classic Physique Olympia winner. He knows his shit, guys, Hani Rambod. You don't think there was a Joseph. Do you think Krizo next year can crack top 5? Yeah, I mean, Krizo, I was surprised because his back actually looked better to me than I was drinking the Kool-Aid. His back sucks. His back sucks. It doesn't suck. It could be a little better. Could be more detailed. And his tan, his condition wasn't awesome, and his tan was awful. It was like I don't know. It had like a yellowish or an orange tint. He was too light. He wasn't dark enough, and the shade was really weird. With a better tan and better condition, I think he would have done better. But still, 12th place. You know, he said in his interviews he'd be very happy to make top 15, and he did it. He never predicted he was going to be top 5 or win or anything like that. A very humble guy. Yeah, I interviewed him on this channel a couple weeks ago with his coach and translator in Slovakia, and he just needs another. I said the same thing, Andrew and Krizo. I feel this way about both of them. I feel like a year from now we're going to see much improved versions of both of these men, and I think they're going to move up for sure. Both of them, both Andrew, who was 8th, which is not bad, guys, considering he'd been sick and considering his condition was not that impressive at all. Krizo, considering his condition wasn't that great and his tan sucked, 12th place in this lineup of 30 men. Come on, guys. Gotta like that. Hunter ahead of Andrew and Brando. Ah ha 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 ha. Yeah, well, we all have our favorites, guys. Trailblazer. Hunter shouldn't have been in top 10. Hunter's got beautiful shape. He's not a small guy. I don't think he was given a gift. I mean, 8th place. Where did he end up? 7th place. That's where Ian was the last 2 years. Yeah, I know some of you guys just don't like Hunter. I don't know why. He's a nice guy. I don't know why you don't like him. Cesar Guarido. What a joke. Rashawn Ferguson. Ben, too inexperienced for Hunter. I mean, he looked great. Hunter looked pretty damn good to me. He could have been a little sharper, and still, I don't think Ben's a bad coach. He's new to the game. He's not as big a name as Chad Nichols, Hani Rambod, George Farah. There's a few big name coaches, and Ben's not really one of them yet. So I could see why you might think that, but he seems to be doing a pretty good job. Hello, friend. Can you foresee Derek being unbeatable when he addresses his minor issues? Nobody's unbeatable. Nobody. I could see him winning. I could see him winning this show. He's a little bit behind Hadi now, but he could catch up. I've a few people that I've talked to, experienced guys, like Ron. The last time I spoke with Ronnie Coleman, we did our Olympia discussion, preview picks, whatever show last week, and yeah, we did it Monday. And he said he doesn't foresee anybody ever having a really long Mr. Olympia reign like he did, like Lee Haney did. It's the sport has changed. There is more talent now, and nobody's that dominant right now. So I don't see Derek winning it like 8 times. I don't see anybody winning it 8 times ever again, to be honest with you. Even Phil Heath. I thought Phil Heath was going to win 8. Well, I thought he might win 10. Didn't happen. He got the hernia and the surgeries, and that was pretty much the end for Phil. For now. What else we got? Trailblazer 82. Hunter placing shows politics and popularity plays a part. Well, I know why you might think that. The conspiracy theories, I was thinking Derek and Hadi, I still had Hadi beating him, but I thought, well, maybe because Derek's got this all-American, boyish look. He's a nice guy. He speaks English. I thought maybe they're going to give him the title over Hadi, this guy who doesn't speak a word of English. He's hearing impaired. I thought I was thinking maybe they'll give it to Derek because he's going to be better for the sport, better for the title. If that had been the case, they would have given it to him. I don't think a ton of people, we would have heard boos, but a lot of people would have accepted Derek as a winner. So I don't know. The Hunter, you guys really, I don't know why so many of you hate Hunter. It's not like he's horrible. I guess some of you guys think he does. Ragesh, what is Chris Bum arm are weird? Oh, what? I don't know what you're asking me. What's your view on Derek? Derek, he's great. Like I said, he won the front double bicep, the back double bicep. He's freaking got crazy shape, mass, great condition, just needs more muscle maturity, certain areas, mostly in the upper body, he needs more detail, just, more more splits and striations, splinters, detail, 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 maturity. Sergio De Michel, according to Trigilli, okay, both Valier and Labrada have nerve issue causing atrophy of their back, but if that was the case, how both of them could be so self-confident hours before the competition? I mean, Rami was super confident, and so was Dennis James and everything he said. They were very, very confident he was going to bring his best package ever. I think it's hard for people to look at themselves objectively, and I think every guy was telling, everyone you heard from was saying they were going to be their best ever, this and that, and not everybody was their best ever, and that's never the case at these shows. Not everybody hits their mark 100% on contest day. In fact, very few people usually really nail it. So I don't know why they were so confident. I mean, you have to be confident, but Labrada, I don't think he's got atrophy of his back. C-bum biceps are underwhelming, says Trailblazer. Yeah, you can pick any physique apart. His biceps are not the greatest, but good Lord, that shape, that structure, the leg. I mean, it's an incredible physique. And I want to say this about Chris. I was very impressed in his victory speech that he took the time to recognize a fan of his who was 19 years old, was going through chemotherapy, battling cancer. And Chris said, he told me to pass, the message he wanted to pass on to everyone was, you don't need to be dying to start living. And he gave Chris some bracelet. And he said Chris wore it all the way up until he put his tan on for this show. And unfortunately, the young man lost his life at 19 years old. And Chris was, choking up, trying not to cry on stage. And it was very emotional. It just goes to show you he's a good guy. I know it's not a personality contest or who's the best dude, the best person. But I really like Chris. I think he's a great ambassador. He's got all these fans for a reason. It's not just a physique. It's not. It's because he's real. He's genuine. He's humble. He's a good guy. C-bomb. Any view on Andrew in the open? What? Yeah, I already talked about Andrew. He just needs more condition, some more hamstrings, a little more back thickness. He's a work in progress. He's going to be amazing. He's not there yet, but he's going to be. C-Bum wouldn't place an open. I agree with you on that. I think he's not big enough for this level. He would need like 30 more pounds, 40 more pounds. He would need a lot more size. But with that shape and structure, and he has no interest in going open. He has no interest in doing any of that. But if he did add that mass and could keep all the proportions in the small waist, I think he would do very well. Another person complaining about Hunter. Why do you guys hate Hunter so much? Did he steal your girlfriend or something? I don't know. I don't know why he gets so much hate. I guess it's because he's Lee Labrada's son, so he's like royalty in the sport. It's like a legacy, legacy thing, and you guys think he's had everything handed to him. And I'm sure he grew up with some money, so a lot of guys hate on him and they're jealous because he's had some opportunities and advantages due to his dad being a very famous guy who was second to Lee Haney a couple times and was a legend in the sport. But you know what? He's earned his way to where he is. If he had a terrible physique, guys, he wouldn't be in the Olympia. He wouldn't. Way too small. Derek will be hard to beat from next year. Yeah, another year with Derek. I'm very interested to see what Derek's going to look like with another year. Another year with Hani, especially because Hani is and now this was the first year. This year, he wasn't even sure about 212 or open until a few months away. He already knows he's doing open next year. He's already qualified, doesn't have to worry about an invitation or anything like that. So he's got time to really focus on improving. And this kid's, he's a warrior. He's on this grind like every day. He is so focused, Derek. Derek, yeah, not from the back at all. He was crisp from the back. Yeah, he looks awesome from the back. Renaud Jansen has his guys use SEOs in their arms. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, guys. Andrew, too old, not conditioned, too light. Well, he's like 290 pounds, but he does need to be a little bigger. He's got long arms and legs. He's got a huge frame, huge structure to fill out. So I do think he needs a little more mass. He definitely needs better condition. But with with another year to work on that, the sky's the limit for Andrew Jack. I mean, what a shape, what a structure. What else? Do you think the late prejudging accounted for so many guys being off? It had to play a role because, goodness gracious, the show was supposed to start at 7, but at the end of the daytime judging for other divisions, Bob Ciccarello let everyone know we're going to start at 6. Usually if they tell you a change in schedule, they're going to make the show start later. In this case, I think they're already sort of trying to do damage control and keep the show from going too late. And they wanted to start an hour earlier. And still, the guys didn't get on stage till 11 o'clock at night. They're waiting around backstage. They don't know how much time they've got. You know, they can't eat much because they might have to go on. They might not have much notice before they go on. So, yeah, the stress of it's like, shit, we've been waiting back here for 5 hours, 6 hours. I can't imagine just hanging around waiting and not knowing when you're going to go on and it being so delayed. But, we need to have a discussion on how to make this show more elite, meaning not so many competitors because it's too many people. And all the women, now that we have 11 divisions, we have all the new women's divisions. I mean, these things go on and on and on. And you saw that the open men suffered as a result because they had to wait around all night for these figure, fitness. I'm sorry, no, that was the night before. No, it was that night. I'm sorry. Figure, fitness, wellness, women's Olympia. Yeah, it was a long freaking night, man. Long night. Trailblazer, how do you fix nerve damage? I don't know if you can. My left lat is atrophied, doesn't match my right lat. Not sure if it's a tear or nerve damage. There's a medical specialty, neurology. So you would have to ask a neurologist that because I don't know the answer. I don't know if it can be fixed. Maybe it can. I'm completely ignorant on that aspect. Base and bodybuilding. Do you think the format and division of the Olympia needs to change? East Coast viewers don't get to see open until like 3 a.m. Yeah, and I mean, look, what about all those poor people in Europe? It was like 8 or 9 in the morning for them. So I guess they could wake up early. But yeah, it was late. It was late. So late. Like I said, I think we just need to figure out a way to cut down the amount of people in the Olympia. Maybe make it, because there's so many shows. This was my idea. And we'll see if they listen to me. Not every show will qualify you for the Olympia, even if you win it. Maybe there's going to be these tier 1 shows where you're automatically qualified. And then tier 2 where you get this many points. And tier 3 where you get that many points, meaning more people are going to have to come in on points. But it's going to be more elite. You're not going to end up with 70 guys in classic physique, 60 in bikini, 30 in the Mr. Olympia. You'll have a lot less competitors that way. But, they have some time to figure this out, I hope. My flavor. Why do these coaches like Milos and Chad do these crazy carb ups and risk spilling these guys? It always goes badly. The guys in shape won. Why ruin the prep by spilling these guys with insulin? Well, the reason they carb up these guys so much is because when you have these big dudes and they're out there, they start posing and their bodies process the carbs so fast. It's very easy for them to go flat, 10, 15 minutes into the judging, and they start visibly looking a little bit smaller and softer because now the muscles aren't pushing out against the skin. It's a gamble. But I mean, they know what they're doing. Like, I thought Milos did a fantastic job with Samson Dauda. Samson in 6th place. I think a very good, strong argument could be made that Samson could have beat Rami. But, they weren't going to have him beat Rami. But Samson looked freaking great, I thought. C-bum biceps are weird to me. And Ragesh, you already told me you don't like his biceps. They're short. They insert like way over here. He's never going to have huge biceps. I don't think he's ever going to have huge arms compared to, some of these guys have these ridiculous arms like Krizo. He's never going to have arms like that no matter what he does. But his physique is so pretty and so balanced. The only thing you could really knock him on is, his arms could be better. That's about all you can really knock on Bumstead for Classic. He looks fantastic. Dane Christensen. I met you, Dane, at the show. That's right, yeah. What's up, Dane? How about that crowd reaction when Derek hit the front relax and front double? It was crazy, yeah. Derek got the biggest reaction out of everyone in the weekend when he came out and started hitting poses. And, they moved. He got first call out, which I wasn't surprised at all. I thought he would. But they moved him right in the middle, him and Hadi. And I was like, yes. I said, this kid's fighting for the title now. But this kid who wasn't even qualified, really, they invited him to the show. He's a 212 guy. A lot of people were predicting a poor performance or a poor outcome for Derek. A lot of people said he was going to be lucky to get top 10. A lot of people were saying that, and anytime I make my predictions and they're so off the mark, I have to eat my words. So you guys have to eat your words if you were talking crap and saying Derek was going to do poorly. Jen, fantastic show it was. Jen, I have to thank Jen Gerisi from MD, our chief operating officer, who is the brains behind all the tech stuff and the website and the YouTube channel and the social media. Without her staying up to these, because she's in New York, so she was up all freaking night and early into the early next morning, you know, behind the scenes, making sure we had everything posted and the right titles and every little details and editing videos, multitasking, all while, you know, we're trying to do the play-by-play. We're uploading Chris Griffin and helping her, and we're uploading all the photos that I was taking. And I got some great photos because even though it's just an iPhone, I had some really good seats thanks to Olympia committee, Heather El Gundy. We had some issues, a little misunderstanding with the tickets and the seats, but they hooked us up in the very end. Everything was fine. I was sitting right next to Jason Breeze. I was dead center. I was 2 rows behind the judges, so I had a great vantage point. Thank you, guys. Heather and also Angelica Nebbia from the Olympia production team. She was Flex Magazine. Anyway, they both helped us out, so thanks, guys. Dane Christensen again. Oh, yeah, there you go. Nice to meet you, by the way. Yeah, thanks for the picture. Thank you. Arturo Vos, thank you. You're welcome, Ragesh. Sebum biceps are weird. Nothing happened to his, Ragesh, nothing happened to his biceps. That's how they've always looked. Go back and look at any front double bicep pictures of Bumstead. He's got short biceps. They don't insert, you know, I'll show you mine, or I don't have, so he's got a gap from the elbow to there. That's just where the muscle inserts. It's nothing, it's not an injury. There's nothing he can do about it. They're not that bad, guys. Relax. Joseph, why moving the Olympia to Orlando? Vegas is the best. I don't know if it is the best. Why is it the best? So you can go to other, like I never left, well, I had to leave Planet Hollywood because a lot of the stuff was going on. A lot of the judging, the Friday and Saturday judging during the day was at the Venetian Expo, which was a couple miles away, a few miles away. But I never left. I never saw Vegas. I don't care to go. I don't go to shows. I don't gamble. I don't care if it's in Vegas. Personally, to me, it doesn't matter. If you're just there for the show, it really doesn't matter where it is. It could be in Detroit. It could be in Atlanta. It could be in New York, California. It doesn't matter where the show is. You're inside some venue and you're watching the show. It's not like you're on the beach or mountains, or it doesn't matter. But I like Orlando. Selfishly, it's a quick flight for me. It's like an hour, it's like 2-hour flight. I like Orlando. I mean, Vegas, I know some of you guys want to just go and you get to go to Vegas. So maybe when nothing's going on, you can go check out the Vegas Strip and other casinos and go see, I don't know, one of those 30 Cirque du Soleil shows or something. But yeah, I think they're going to alternate years. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Vegas, Orlando for the foreseeable future every other year. Should Walker give Jansen a cut of his prize money, given that's their tradition? I don't know what arrangement they have, what he pays them, if he pays them. It's none of our business, guys. That's between Matt and Nick, and don't worry about it. You know, that's their deal. Chris K. Nick Trigilli has a YouTube video where you can see that Ian and also Labrada lost their back muscles like Rami. 3 exclamation points. Well, that's rough. I hope they're not injured. If they are, that sucks, and I hope they can fix it. Ragesh, you got to relax on the C-bone biceps. I've just told you are you not listening to me, dude? They're short. The insertions are short. I know English isn't your first language. I don't speak whatever language you speak, so maybe you're not getting this, but his biceps, they insert a little higher up toward the shoulder. He's got a gap there, so they're never going to be these big, full biceps. He's done the best he could. Sako Janesian, my buddy in Boston, good friend of Dr. T. Ron, great job covering. Sako gives me my chance to speak the only Armenian that I speak. Bare vispesas, which is hi, how are you? Chris K, I already read your comment. Arstav, I went Saturday. Much thanks to Jake Wood for a great show. Tickets were affordable when I got them in April. I hope they do the same next year. Oh, so I guess the price goes up as the year goes on. Dane Christian, I love how hot he seemed like he knew he won it during the pose down. He was bumping elbows with everyone. Well, he was definitely confident because I think he knew he was in the running because they had him in the middle. Whereas in the past, it's always been like, he's one of those guys, I'm like, he's very good. I don't know if he's ever going to win the Olympia, though. And now he won the Olympia, so I'm glad he proved it all. Robbie Bell, do you think the lighting was a big factor? Even the top guy's legs looked washed out and lots of guys' backs. No, I think the lighting was fine. I think it looks different on the pay-per-view because you're seeing it in 2 dimensions. It looked fine to me. If you look at the high-res images, and if you want to see some awesome pictures, photos, high-res, go to musculardevelopment.com. Even on the homepage, there's a tab with Olympia pictures, you could see amazing detail in the legs everywhere with the backs. It's very, very different when you're watching the pay-per-view, on your TV screen or your tablet or your desktop or your laptop. It's very different. So if you want to see the true condition of these guys, Jason Breeze has a whole gallery, hundreds, thousands of photos from all the divisions. Check it out, and you'll see the condition really shows more so in those. Robbie Bell, Kenneth Wilburn, also Andrew, no hamstring. Yeah, Andrew needs to work on his hamstrings. His quads, which I know were, like Ian Valier had said, he's got no legs. He's got huge quads. His hams don't match. When he does his side poses, you're like, his quads are like flared out like that, and the hamstrings don't match. But, he's got time, and he's still young in the game. He just turned pro. Oh, thank you, Josue, for the little tip there. What's up, guys? Ragesh, we're going to have to block you if you keep talking about his C-Pump's biceps. We've addressed it like 4 times now. Dave Thomas, a much-deserved win for Hadi. I never thought it would happen considering he doesn't speak English, but his physique spoke for itself. Yeah, he doesn't speak English. He's from a country that a lot of people have animus towards because they've had a horrible history with, people, human rights, women's rights in particular. And in his acceptance speech, he dedicated his win to the women of Iran and their freedom because, people are being publicly executed in Iran for protesting, and there's been some terrible things happening to the people of Iran. They've had a rough time of it, so, Hadi really helped that. George White from the UK. You think Samson will get more credit now? After all, he was 2 places higher than Andrew Jack. Yeah, Samson's on the map. Samson has arrived. Samson is legit. I actually, at the Victory Gala, the table was Samson and his partner, girlfriend. Are they married? I don't know. Milos and his wife, Giles and Lauren and me, sitting there eating our buffet food. Delicious salmon, by the way. And he was in high spirits, and I think he could have been a little higher, and I think he's only going to do better. I think he does need to fill out a little more. I agree with Jose Raymond, just a little bit more, because he's another one like Andrew. He's got very long arms and legs, but beautiful physique, beautiful, tons of mass, great condition. He's on his way. Brian Lee, big run. That's actually Ronnie Coleman, but thank you. Thank you, Giles, Jose, and even Milos for your coverage. Side note, what was the best thing you ate out there in Vegas? I didn't. Oh, actually, I do have an answer for that. The very first night I was there was Wednesday night, and I ate. Was treated to dinner by Steve Blackman, the owner of MD, and his son Jordan was there at Strip, the premium steakhouse at Planet Hollywood, and I had a $70. Wasn't a ribeye. It was a New York strip steak. I only say the price because I'm cheap. When I go out, I would never spend that kind of money on a meal. But if somebody else is paying, yeah, sure, why not? But it was delicious. Really good steak. Had some, what came with it? We had some roasted Brussels sprouts on the side. Yeah, it was a really good meal. And every other meal I ate at the Hollywood Cafe. It was like the main restaurant in the casino, adjacent next to the casino. But it was good food. It was fine. I'm not like a big foodie. Dinesh Kumar, you're the best. So humble, man. You respond to every comment. Well, that's why we're here. Thank you. But that's what the live chat's for. That's what, I try to get to everybody. Eventually, I always have to either eat or walk branch or something. Yeah, I eat. That I'll complain. Can I complain for a second? I'm not really complaining. It's just when you're used to eating like every 2 hours, as I am, and a lot of you guys are. Oh, missing meals. It's just brutal. And I was battling, I don't know if this is bronchitis I have. I don't know. I was hacking up like phlegm and coughing. But you know what? I'm not going to miss the Olympia. Oh, really? Oh, so I can't go to the Olympia. I'm sick. No, I wasn't. Unless I had like full-blown COVID or something, I was going. I wasn't going to miss it. Had a job to do, and I was very eager to do it. I knew it was going to be an awesome show. What else? Ragesh, it looks like you're banned. You're banned because you won't get off the topic of C-Bum's biceps. I told you, dude. Magos 008. What happened to Ian's back? I don't know what happened. He'll probably address it. Everybody comes out and says what happened, or they try to explain it on social media. So he'll either say it on his own social media, or I'm sure he'll be on Fuad's. By the time right now, he might be on Fuad's podcast telling everybody what happened to his back. I don't know. Nick Trigilli has a YouTube video where you can see that Ian also lost their back muscle like Rami. Yeah, we've been over that. Renaud, is Walker's right arm and leg smaller than his left from injuries or just genetics? Oh, I didn't notice that. Asymmetry. I didn't notice that. Magos, I saw that Chris, I'm asking Ron what he thinks. Ragesh, we haven't been banned yet? What happened on Olympia? Jen, looks like we lost the connection. Let's give Ron a minute. Oh, we lost the connection? We shouldn't. I have a great Wi-Fi in my house. It's all good. I'll be patient, Jen. Thank you. I think I'm going. Walker looked better than Derek. Better conditioning. No. I mean, maybe in a couple areas, like up here. Trailblazer, why did only top 5 get money? At least top 10 should receive money. Oh, top 10 gets money. They just didn't announce the placing because they were strapped for time. No, they did announce the placing, right? No, the top 10 all get money. They got money. I don't know why they didn't announce it. Like I said, these shows ran so long. They had to cut corners somewhere on the time to keep this, so we weren't there again until 12:30 at night, half past midnight. Greg Ulysse, my man from Montreal, IFBB Pro. What's up, bro? Tell me how people, supposedly experts, had Rami winning. I don't know. I heard Phil Heath had Rami winning, and I don't know what he was looking at. I don't know what. There's no way. When they came out, I was like, uh-oh, Rami's he's off. He's not winning. I knew it like right away. A lot of us were looking at him and like glancing at each other like, what happened to Rami, dude? And who's going to be doing the Arnold run? No, the Arnold list should be coming. Dave Thomas. Arnold list should be coming out in a couple, soon, within a week or two, because the show's coming right up. It'll come out soon. Dan Konani, Samson Zerf, third. Yeah, I mean, we all have our favorites, and the Nick Walker fans all think he should have won. A lot of Rami fans think he should have won. They weren't seeing anything wrong with him. I mean, fans can be very blind to things that are going on with their favorite athlete's physique. They can only focus on some strong points, and they totally ignore maybe the condition was off or freaking a muscle was torn, or they're just only focused on the strong points of their favorite. Reynold, would you advise Labarde to get his pec tear surgically repaired and come back after that? His posing looks bad. I think it's too late, honestly. I think, correct me if any of you are orthopedic surgeons, but I believe if you tear your pec, if you're going to have surgery, it needs to be done fairly soon, within like a week, or else it already starts healing in a retracted position, and you have like a hole or a deformation of the muscle. So I don't know. I'm not a surgeon, but I think it's too late. I think that ship has sailed. So, I mean, it's not horrible. If you guys have seen really bad pec tears with like a huge hole like you'd stick your fist in, he doesn't have that. It is noticeable. It is distracting, but it's not that bad. I mean, Rami had 2 holes in his quads, in his outer quads. It looked like someone had an ice cream scooper and scooped out a hole out of his the vastus lateralis. I don't know what the hell that was. Muscle Machine. First bodybuilding show with no politics. Well, a lot of the people think it's politics because Hunter shouldn't have been top 10. So, but I think the fact that they chose Hadi Choopan as Mr. Olympia, a guy from Iran, and someone was saying, why do you call Iran the wrong country? I'm not saying it's the wrong country. I'm saying conspiracy theorists would say that American judges might think, he's from Iran, screw Iran, we don't like Iran. U.S. and Iran have had horrible relations since 1979, since the hostage crisis, and the Ayatollah took over, and they've had that, fundamentalist religion, city government in place. But yeah, if that was the case, then they would have picked Derek. Derek would be the winner right now if it was politics. Hunter is like Dexter, overrated. I don't think Dexter was overrated. Dexter was great. Come on now. Dexter won the Olympia. He won 5 Arnold Classics. I don't know what you mean by overrated. Muscle Machine Rami could easily have been 7th. Yeah, you could make that argument. Krizo deserved higher. No. Krizo with a little better condition, a much better tan, a little more back detail. He's going to do much better next year. I predict it right now. I top 10 for sure. Top 6 is where I see Krizo next year, which would be much better than 12th. Why did Bonac play so poorly? His condition was a little off too. And it was a tough show. Tough show. Oh, geez, guys are going fast. I don't know if I can keep up with you. Good Lord. Yeah, wow, you guys got a lot to say. Oof, I don't know if I can get to all this because you guys are going crazy here. That's okay, he's still alive. Yeah, I'm still alive. Wow. Jeez, it's been like 100 comments, man. I'll try to. I don't think I'm going to get to all these. I'm sorry. Jeez, this is quick. Well, you can go back and read the comments later anyway. And you can respond to them in the live chat, and then you can respond in the comments, because I don't think I'm going to get to all these. Wow, look at all these comments. Good Lord. Told you, fanboy. I don't know who he's referring to. I got to keep going back. Wow, dude, you guys have a lot to say. I'm going to have to be fast. Wow. Jeez. Holy crap. There's been like 300 comments. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. I'm trying. I got so many of them came up. I got so far behind. I should have been placed top 4. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. So happy for Natalia Coelho for winning Women's League. Me too. Derek. Dan Konani had Derek, Hadi, Samson, Andrew. I didn't have Andrew that high. Okay, Chukwu Danielle. Andrew Jack was robbed. Are you in Nigeria? That sounds like a Nigerian name. No wonder you think that. No, Andrew needs some hamstrings. He needs much better condition. No, he wasn't robbed. He was not. I'm sorry. Trailblazer, I heard live stream sucked for the Olympia and the pricing was way too high. Price should be $20, $30. Yeah, I don't set the prices, guys. Okay, do it like that. Andrew was robbed. Yeah. They didn't give Rami the title because of politics. He represented the sport poorly. No. If Rami had looked awesome like he did, he looked really good the past couple of years. He didn't look like that. It wasn't politics. No. If he had looked great and they still put him in 5th place, then I'd say, yeah, maybe you're right. They're either punishing him or politics, but no. He didn't look good, guys. He did not. Go look at the pictures. His midsection was all washed out. His lower lats were gone. Tricep was flat. One arm was way bigger than the other. One of his calves, the inner calf was gone. I mean, he had a lot of issues going on, guys. It was not politics. Ayed El Attar, what are your thoughts on placing Brandon Curry over Rami? I mean, yeah, I've already talked about that. Ron, who was in better shape, Brandon or Samson? Samson, that was easy. Goat Fitness, Trailblazer. Samson looked better than Brandon and Rami. Yeah. I wouldn't have had an issue with Samson being that high at all. Igor, I really like this classic Olympia, but it was crazy to see the C-Bum is years ahead of Ramon. Ramon is years ahead of others too. Ramon needs like more lower lat. They kind of insert high. I don't know. Josue Garcia, Phil Heath was 100% at this Olympia. Where do you think he placed? He would have won. Yeah, Phil Heath was freaking great, man. At 100%, like let's say his first Olympia, 2011, that Phil Heath would have beaten any of these guys, any of them. And I'm not being a kiss ass. I'm just being real. I like him, but I like all these other guys. Chris, Derek looked a little soft in the front. Really not soft. He just doesn't have a lot of muscle maturity up here. Okechukwu Daniel. Andrew Jack smoked Brandon and Rami hands down. Andrew Jack was robbed. Andrew Jack made a huge development with 6 Pro. Top 4. Don't worry. He's going to be moving up. He's going to get better hamstrings. He's going to get a little bigger. He's going to get better condition. His condition wasn't that great. It really wasn't, guys. I'm sorry. George White, Jen rocks. I agree. Jen was the glue that held this whole coverage weekend together. She really was. Chris K, why is the front relax called front relax? There's nothing relaxed. They show their wings. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to see them all slouched and with their gut hanging out, right? I think they just call it relaxed because it's not a pose. I agree with you. It's a silly term. Samson, I think a good idea is to have 2 separate streams, one for all the women divisions and the other for men divisions. And I mean, that's not a bad idea. NDA, Hadi Chupan is a weak Olympia champ, not a multi-winner. That's your opinion. I mean, thought he looked pretty damn great. D365, hey, is there something going on at Rami's camp? Didn't hear anything from Dennis James' chat after the event. Well, I mean, what are they going to say? Because they were hyping him up and saying how awesome he was going to look, and he didn't look awesome. I mean, what are they going to say? We misled you, or we were wrong? Something might have gone more wrong at the last minute with his peaking. It looked like that, but there were other issues. I don't know if it's in there. I don't know what it is, but there's some things that need to be addressed. He needs like full medical workups, MRIs, and all that crap. Chris K, it was a good show. Derek was too soft. Howard Sean Roden's Olympia winning package replaced this year's show. Pure speculation, but probably like second, third. I don't know if he was beating Hadi. Maybe he would have. Maybe he would have won. I mean, he had the late Sean Roden, God rest his soul. He had a beautiful, beautiful physique. Okechukwu, yeah, I know. He thought Andrew was up. JP Artes, Brazil. You know what's funny is they have during the judging for classic physique, during all the judging, it's just random music. It's house. There's a DJ spinning music, but it's not like the guys don't pick the music that they come out to because they're just coming out one after another. There's no real rhyme or reason. But when Ramon was out, I think the DJ did give him a little. It was some song, and he kept in the mix. They kept saying, "This is Brazil." So I think the DJ gave him a little thumbs up, a little props with that. Okay, what are your thoughts on placing Brandon Curry over Rami? Yeah, we said that. Guys, you don't need to keep repeating it. Come on, your stuff. Hunter Labrada was a mess as usual. I thought he looked better than last year. Alberto Montejo, your arms look 23 inches in your interviews. No, not quite, but thank you. I mean, I always show just this one because this one has more fullness and it's a little bigger, but no, my arms have never even been close to 20 inches. 19 when I was fat and watery and a bloated 245, you know. Okay, oh good, a lot of these are repeats. Vegas 1 year, Orlando the next. Yeah, Dane, how bad was your sleep quality at the hotel? The smoke was coming through all the doors and our room was so dry. Daily nosebleeds for me. I would say Orlando all the way. The pillow was too soft for me. My sleep quality is not very good. I need to drop a few pounds. I'm getting like sleep apnea, and I'm not that heavy. I'm only like a little over 220. But my throat, I start falling asleep, and then immediately I wake up because I'm like choking. But yeah, those pillows are so soft and mushy. I wasn't sleeping very well. You should go to Dubai. Oh, I'd love to go to Dubai. I'd love to go to Dubai. Hunter needs to let his dad help him. I think his dad handles his posing. I think if Lee Labrada felt Ben Chow was doing a poor job prepping his son, he would step in and say, "You need to find someone else." Or I think he must have he must be pretty confident with Ben Chow, or else he wouldn't let his son go into the Olympia every year with this man guiding him. Ryan Ramos, the only competition was Open 212 in Classic, was a cakewalk. Yeah. Bo True, sup bros? I eat that high. What are your thoughts on placing? Oh, it's the same thing you keep saying. Welcome back, Bo True. Flex T. Andrew was robbed. Everybody was robbed. I saw one comment from a Hollingshead supporter. I like James, so this is not a dig, but it just goes to show you how people have their favorites. They said the only person who was 16th was James Hollingshead. Everyone else was 17th. But on the score sheet, if you go to ifbbpro.com, they have the score sheet posted. So they only placed the top 15. After that, they just put 16th. Brandon was too beefy. Yeah, I'd like to see the Brandon that won the Olympia. He was lighter. He was almost 20 pounds heavier here than when he won, but I like the look he had when he won. Muscle Machine, Ron, we get happy when you are alive. Thank you, Muscle Machine. Josue Garcia, I already answered that, Josue. Kenneth Wilburn, old man Andrew. Old man. Geez, if he's 37 and he's an old man, I'm 53. I must be like a mummy. No hamstrings. Eye condition needs to gain weight. When is Larry Wheels going to dominate WSM? Well, Larry Wheels is just on TRT now. Still a strong dude, but no. Oh, Troy, I promise I'm not hunting lions. Good, don't do that. Andrew Okechukwu again. Andrew Jack must be given great attention. Will represent Mr. Olympia organization very well. 2023 Mr. Olympia and 2023 Arnold Sports Festival champion will be Andrew Jack. Well, we'll see. Hottie's shoulders just fine. Yeah, last year they were looking. They were dodgy. They were shot up with something. He did not have that look this year at all. His shoulders looked nice and round, but striated, detailed. Didn't look like there was any funny business in those shoulders at all this year. He wouldn't have won with those shoulders he had last year. Ian needs to move to Kuwait. Oh, he's in Florida. I think he likes Florida better. Dane Christensen. I was in line and sat with Dr. T at the press conference. He's a cool guy, yeah. Dr. T, that show's coming up tomorrow morning, 9:15 Eastern. We actually interviewed, I interviewed him for, instead of answering questions this week, we talked about his transformation. He dieted. He did photo shoots with Per Bernal and Alex Ardente. They're going to be in the magazine as a feature, so we're going to talk about how he stays in shape, gets in shape, all his supplements, all his medications, everything we talked about. Anthony Maccarone, if Walker's waist comes down again, will he move ahead, Derek? I don't. It's like a bone structure thing. It's not like he has a gut. He doesn't have a big gut or anything. It's just he's got a little blocky waist. It's not really narrow. That's his bones. Those are structures. He's done a fantastic job. The kid's packed with so much size, and he got into awesome condition. Like I said, I think third place was in this year's Olympia was a win for Nick Walker. He looked great. He should be very proud of himself. Let's see. Arsenal Manic. How'd he look next level from up close? You couldn't tell from the live stream. Much deserved winner, top guy. Yeah, if like I said, go to musculardevelopment.com in the gallery section. We got all the photos from the show, the Jason Breeze show, and the high res images. You can see a lot more detail, way more detail in all the guys and girls than you could in the live stream, because it's a stream, it's video, they can't really get that same resolution that our photographers can get with their digital cameras from still photos. Hadi is a very definition of conditioning. This is Trailblazer. You can see everything on his body. Yeah, he was shredded, dry, grainy. Nobody can say, "Oh, the guys in the '90s had better conditioning." No, nobody had better conditioning than that. Hadi was right there with anybody's best condition. Abdullah Khan, Ian, Hunter, Rami, biggest disappointment. I mean, especially Hunter 7th place. What a Christmas gift. God, you guys really don't like Hunter, really. Like I said, what did he do to you? Massimo Sean, Ron, please bring Zach Khan and Jose back on the show. They're the best. Well, Jose, we did a show last week, me and Jose. Jose, we do the Boston Mass show, or what's it called? No Way Jose. Yeah, we do a show with Jose, when he has time. Yeah, Joshua Garcia. I said, if Phil came in 100% of this group, he would have won. Yeah, the Phil Heath from 2010, even when he took second to Jay, 2011, 2012. The first few years when Phil was winning, he was freaking amazing. Andy A. Oh, yeah, he still told you, fanboy. Kenneth, I don't know who you're talking to. Andy A. Phil Heath annihilates these guys at his best. Hadi has weak arms. Oh, boy. Only look good in front double bicep. Back is nothing special. I disagree about the back. Hadi's back is pretty damn great. Look again. Thank you for the super chat. Can we talk about Hunter? We've been talking about Hunter. Who was a fanboy? Yeah, I don't know. Very noble speech from the pimp. Okechukwu Danielle. A 36-year-old person is not old. He's too young. Stop your funny hatred on Andrew Jack just because he's black. Now we're bringing race into it. But 36 is pretty young, and he's young in the sport. He's just started competing. It's not like a 36-year-old that's been competing since he was like a teenager, has been taking gear for decades and has torn muscles and arthritis. It's not like that. He's young in the sport, and that's not old at all. Mago Simpson is king of UK. Yeah, he's the best you guys got right now. Bring Zach Khan for an interview. I think Giles is going to have him on MD Global Muscle soon. They've been talking about that. They're good friends. They've known each other for many years. I like the interview, but I think Giles does a better job with Zach. He's actually had him in studio over there in the UK, and they did a great show last year, I think it was. How'd Hunter beat Andrew? I think Rami will ever win the Olympia again, says Jihad Abdur Rahman. He might. If he can if these are issues that can be fixed, resolved. If they're not, like if he's not going to get his lower back, he's not going to get those lower lats back. If he can't get his body to respond and look the way it did, then no, he's never going to win again. If he can, I'd be very happy to see him make a successful comeback. He's a great guy. I like Rami. Ron, don't believe everything you hear in the news. I don't. Love Hadi, says Kenneth. Andrew Jack is legit too. Yeah. Rough Diesel, I wonder why he plays so low. Brian looked pretty good. Terrence was a little flat. The condition wasn't as good as we've seen. It was a tough show. NDA, anyone else think Rami was punished? His arms are slightly down, but he still has trademark side conditioning. How did he drop 5 places? Look at his midsection. It was really blurry and soft. His abdominals, his lower lats were gone. He couldn't even open up his back. There's something going on. He wasn't punished. He got what he deserved. I hope he's able to fix those issues. Mario Ultimate Art, what's up? John, Michael Bassad. Hunter needs to go back to the drawing board. I think he looked pretty good. I don't know. Trailers, would you rather place 8-9 a tough lineup or 3-4 in a weak lineup at the Olympia? I mean, everyone wants to place higher, so probably they'd say I'd rather be 3rd or 4th. Because, in the end of the day, most of the people have no idea that it was a weak lineup. Or, years from now, people look at the results. They won't know, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't our best Olympia. Jimmy Villanueva, I had Nick Walker winning. Same conditions as Hadi, but 30 pounds bigger. And Hadi second, Derek third. His chest would disappear on the side chest and when he flexed. Well, I mean, it's a subjective sport. It's opinion, so I can't say you're wrong. Where Dennis James at? Joseph, do you think a 2020 version of Rami could have won this year Olympia? Yeah, probably. Where is Zach Khan? I don't know. He's on social media. You can find him. It's not like he disappeared. Coverage was awesome. Jose Raymond had some great insights. Yeah, I got to give props to Jose Raymond. He did some excellent commentary, very insightful, speaks his mind, doesn't care who might be butthurt. He's not a fanboy. He doesn't give praise unless it's deserved, and he doesn't give critiques unless they're deserved. He just tells it like he sees it. Lets the chips fall where they may. Mask up. Next year, 20 the whole world watch out, Andrew. Yeah, he said that. How close are you to the front run? I was two rows behind the judges, but there was a whole VIP section in front of the judges. It was like 10 rows, which in Olympia's past, we've been even much, there was the VIP section was more rows, so we were even further back. So this is the best seats I've had at the Olympia in a few years, definitely for a while. Maybe the best I've seen. It was pretty good seats. I was literally, I could have thrown little balls of paper at the judges and hit them in the head if I wanted to, but I wouldn't do that. Muscle damage. Okay, damn, I'm late again. Well, it's live, but you can watch it later. Look for a second. Eric Red, funny how many experts were having Rami first after prejudging. Yeah, then they weren't experts. Anybody with an expert eye would have seen all the things that were going on with Rami and said, he's done. He's not winning this year. He's not keeping his title. Folks sleeping on Derek and Samson were most impressive in the lineup in terms of new progress. Okay, Derek has more. Okay, Chukwu. Derek only has more conditioning than Andrew. I know you love Andrew. He's going to do better next year. Don't worry about it. He did not smoke Derek. He did not. In terms of shape and symmetry, he's got a beautiful shape and structure. I think Andrew is going to be phenomenal. I think he's going to be pushing for the title next year, year after. This wasn't his year. He's not there yet. Nick Walker, sharp dressed man. I didn't see how he was dressed. Thoughts on Krizo? Needs a better tan, a little better condition, a little more back detail. We've already talked about Hunter. I'm tired of talking about Hunter. Andrew Jack, Beyond the Matrix. Andrew Jack has the potential to win. He needs to rest his body from now until February and then start training. I don't know how much rest he needs. Unless you're there, Jen says, unless you're there, guys, you're not seeing the whole story. Yeah, things look different. And plus, a lot of I'm not an expert like you. A lot of you guys, I'm not putting you down. I'm not really. I appreciate you all watching, being part of the chat. But a lot of you, like I said, you have your favorites and you have guys you don't like, and you'll see things that aren't there, and you'll miss seeing things that are there just to fit your preconceptions. So if you have a guy that you're really high on, you really favor, you'll ignore some things that are wrong with their physiques or weaknesses, flaws, and you'll only focus on their strong points. So, Zach going. C-Bum's bicep is injured. He has short biceps, just with the left bicep had swelling, discoloring around the elbow. I didn't see. I'll have to look at the pictures. He couldn't flex it. Oh, maybe he does have an injury, but he's got a full year to figure that out and fix it. Rest up, maybe therapy, surgery, treatment. I don't know. Ron is a legend. Yeah, definitely. No, you know what? I did appreciate the fact that so many people came up to me over the weekend and said, I love your videos. I've been a lot of older guys in my age range are saying I've been following you and reading your articles for years, and that's really cool. I'm very grateful, and I do appreciate that because, sometimes these shows they're a lot of work, and you're like, why am I doing this? That's why. There are people who appreciate it, so thank you all. When Kevin Leveroni tore his pec and came back a few months later, Beyond the Matrix says, yeah, that was amazing. Kevin did have surgery right away, I think within like 48 hours, which I think is key with a pec tear or any muscle tear. I think the sooner you can get the surgery, the better you are. Like Branch Warren back in 2000, I don't know what year it was, 2008? Anyway, I remember he tore his quad like in August, full tear. Did get surgery within like 24 hours, and he won the Arnold Classic the next early March. So talk about a quick turnaround. That was pretty amazing. Beautiful body like this is Aninda Das. Beautiful body like Samson. Andrew should place higher. What's your take? Well, Samson I think should have placed higher. I don't think Andrew should have. He still needs more hamstrings. He needs more conditioning. He needs a little more mass because he's got such long arms. He's got a big frame to work with. He's going to be doing better. Don't worry. Cryptocurrency. I think number 1, 2, 3 was amazing. Bruno Herrera, Rami quads did look like donut holes. Yeah, there were holes in both sides of his legs. I mean, you can't ignore that. Kai could win this Olympia. Well, the Kai that was taking second place to Phil Heath for 3 years in a row, I think that Kai would have won this Olympia. Yeah, Kai in his prime. Kai Green was pretty damn great. He would have been Mr. Olympia had it hadn't been for Phil Heath being Mr. Olympia at the time, keeping him from the title. Okay, the question was Hadi. So Hadi was first, yes, Morteza. Darush Marush, if Rami's quad indentation was a problem, why isn't Nick Walker's ball of veins an issue? Well, because that's not a missing muscle. It's just some ugly veins on his shins. You know, if they were like up here, maybe they'd be more distracting varicose veins. But yeah, they're not that. His leg varicose veins don't bother me that much. If Kai came back, I don't think he would place top 10. Well, Kai's almost 50 years old. So, yeah. I mean, he had a great run. Tyler Durden from Fight Club. How impressive is Crezo in person? He's massive. His crab most muscular is just freakish. And his frontal bicep, freakish, crazy. He's so thick. His arms are so big. Will Kai Green compete this year's Olympia? No, we already had this year's Olympia. Andrew Bronek, Roth, and Crezo. Should I place ahead Hunter? Okay. Again, you guys don't like Hunter. Oh, man. We're almost done. Yeah. Is there more? Kai's finished. I'm 54. Beyond the Matrix, I'm 54. My favorite bodybuilder in the 80s was Bertil Fox. Well, Bertil was... I think we gave Ron a bunch of gray hairs after the stream. I would take a full head of gray hair as long as I had a nice full head of hair. I got a little receding hairline, and I got a little thinning hair in back. I'd rather had a nice full head of hair that I could dye the hair any color I wanted than to be losing hair. Kevin Clements, a little bit of flu today. Sorry I'm late in bed with the fever. Yeah, my son is getting over the flu. It's flu season. Bonak, Hottie, bumping elbows. Sorry, your coverage. Thank you, Kevin. Ronnie B Music, just saw Kai in the gym 30 minutes ago. He's still close to what he was when he was competing. Yeah, we actually did a quick interview. It's on this channel. I did it at the expo, and he said he's not quite as great as, he's not quite where he was then, but I think he could be if he really wanted to. Size wise, I think Bonak is finished. No, I don't think Bonak's finished. I mean, people were saying Bonak was finished after the 2021 Olympia. Where, you know, his legs were a little bit down in size, but he showed up at the 2022 Arnold Classic looking, the legs were back. He took a very controversial second to Brandon Curry, and then he won the Boston Pro a week later. So no, he's not finished. Why does muscle atrophy happen in case like Rami lat trace? It's nerve damage, I'm guessing. You'd have to ask like a neurologist. Where would Nathan? Rami can come back and win. I mean, stranger things have happened. Do you think Nathan DeAsha is best would place in this year's lineup? He would have been like top 10, but this was a tough show. Arnold said Rami can come back and win. Arnold doesn't know what's wrong with him. He doesn't know. He's just speaking like, you know, psychologically, mentally, he could come back and win. But if he has like severe nerve damage like Ronnie Coleman got at the very end of his competing in the Olympia, if it's a situation like that, Ronnie never was able to get his title back. And it's not like he wasn't trying and he wasn't, you know, didn't have the right mentality and the heart. He did. He just had nerve damage, and if that's the case with Rami, then I don't know what he can do. Eduardo Kwak. Yeah, he was good too. What's your thoughts about Kamal? Don't you think he deserved to be placed second? You could argue for it, but I think Angel Calderon Frias looked pretty damn great. Pretty damn great. Kamal doesn't have a lot of width, and he doesn't have much quad sweep compared to, you know, Angel had much wider shoulders and lats, much more sweep to his quads, and he was great condition. I didn't have. Were I disappointed with Urs? No, Urs is getting better. He's 24 years old. He's a kid. He's getting better all the time. He just needs to keep getting better, gradually adding size. He's doing it the right way. He's not trying to blow up fast, which has been the demise of many a great bodybuilder. I think he's fine. He just needs a little. He's going to get better and better every year. How does waist get bigger? A lot of reasons. Hair-friendly gear. Yeah, stay away from the DHT derivatives. I know. The Tren, the Masteron, the Proviron. Yeah, but those are some awesome drugs. Hope not nerve damage. More characters with Amex. Thank you for taking my question. Appreciate your hard work. Thank you, Gregory. Last Mr. Had a drop like Rami was Samir in 83 first, 84 fifth. Yeah. Derek Lunsford has amazing V-taper. Guys, I'm going to go. It's time to eat and walk branch. So I thank you for all your questions. If you want to leave stuff in the comments below, I will get to them later. I will answer you in written form. I promise you I will get to all your comments because I appreciate you guys watching. I really do. So if you liked the video, please share it. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Hit your notification bell thing in the corner so you know when we're putting out content. So much great content. Last thing I want to say is myself and Giles Thomas, we're coming out with our own show. It's going to be called the RONSTER and Tiger Power Half Hour, which means we have to be quick and we only have 30 minutes to talk, but we're really looking forward to starting that and putting out some more great content. So appreciate you guys watching so much. Thanks for watching. I'll see you right here next time. Bye-bye.